And here we go for episode number 10. And, well, that is some weird looking trees out there. There we go. I actually think that may fix the problem. Now, I don't understand why they started building it from this side. Maybe because this is where we added in the first block of their zone, but not sure why they're doing it that way, but that is what it is. Now, I said in the last episode already I was going to go and extend this, and did I remove the other part? I think I did, yes. So at least now I listened to myself and I added in the additional overhang, although that does also mean a potential we could move this further in, although no, because there's nothing underneath here, so that will be floating blocks, and yeah, we're not going to do that.
Oh, really?
So that is a 2-block trim. Maybe we just want to do that. And with that then done, I can take you out as well as you, because you are the last visible block, and we can make the forest zone even bigger. See, and just like that, just from seeing a couple of weird trees, we end up building an entire additional forestry. But at least it's going to be looking nice. We're going to hopefully utilize a little bit more of this space instead of just from that side, but we'll see how he's going to do it. Now, we do have a 2-block gap here in between. Maybe we're going to make that a little bit of a walkway or so. I don't know yet what we're going to be doing with that, but we shall see. So, all of that little bit of household aside, we have quite an agenda for today. In science, we have here the Bronze Age. That's going to be the ultimate goal for today. Before that, we want to unlock bread, and we want to unlock advanced construction. Now, for that, we're going to need a whole lot of points, which is going to be relatively easy. But before we can do any of that, we need to get ourselves some additional beds in here because, well, people need a place to sleep, and the only way to get that done is by giving them beds. Since these are temporary measures, we're just going to be filling in all of this for now. It's going to be really cozy sleeping for them, but that is what it is. We need the additional people in order to continue growing this colony because we have plans. Didn't say they were good plans, but we do have plans. Hello. So one of the problems we have is we're consistently out of firewood. So to get more firewood, we need to work on the splitting stumps. To work on the splitting stumps, we need to get the rest of the factory set up. So we basically need to renovate this entire place in order to get all of that sorted. Now, I'm quickly going to go and dig out 3 blocks. Hopefully those 3 blocks are going to show me on the top floor the one thing I need to see, which it does. That is good. And then let's take you out as well. And then last but not least, we're going to go quickly all the way down again. And then on the ground floor, I'm going to be removing the torch. We'll move that over here. And you can stand right about there because we need to get to this one. So I'm going to start at the top floor. I'm going to be putting down a digger area. And we now have the space to hire a person to do that. Then we go to construction and we want to remove all. We want to remove it from that block. And this is where we need to go all the way down. Look at how much we could potentially dig out. Now, we're not going to, because that would remove the entire factory. But we could go all the way until right down there. And then I'm going to be placing a block right there. And I see I missed that column, but when we dig out this wall, we can take out that one. Because this wall is done. Then I'm going to sit in another remove all from here all the way until there. And I'm going to be putting a block right there. And I'm going to be recruiting 2 people who will start digging all of this out. And as we currently have it nighttime, this is for me the safe time in order to do this because I'm not interrupting anything that is running an operation. Actually, let's leave the crate because that side's still going to need it. Now, 1 floor up is going to be food production. I know it doesn't look like it yet, but this is going to eventually all be food production. Now, for me, I'm going to be putting in the splitting stumps here because they are a major part of food production. Later on, we may change that, but let's get 5 of these guys in here. Now, you have as most priority, yeah, let's reset all of you. Reset all. So this is how it is when we're looking at default. I'm going to be increasing you to 500 with the highest priority. Why? Because, well, it is great that we have the fences, and I do want 100 fences eventually, but everything else takes a higher priority. where the highest priority is going to be the firewood. Now, planks is set to 200, which will not be that much of a problem because we've got the mill upstairs, which is also working away on that. And with now the 2 splitting stumps here, plus 3 additional ones, we do need to hire more people, but I'm going to be taking away the engineer's bench, as well as the stonemasons. And the sanctifiers, let's keep 2 for now. I'm going to be removing 1. Then we've got the fire pits, and we've got the Fletchers. That's going to be 3 of them. Let's see. Now, let's first get down our engineer's bench, and we need a stonemason down, because we already know that he is responsible for the cobblestone that we're going to be needing. Now we've got 5 cookers. And how are we looking in here? So we've got 17 fish. We've got 30 pots of water. We only have 2 empty pots. So currently our highest priority is going to be fish. And I'm going to keep that to the highest priority for now. Now, these ones will eventually change to bread and other things, but we have not unlocked that as of yet. These guys are making wheat porridge, which is consuming the majority of the wheat that we currently have. And seeing that we have 123 meals at the moment, and for our bread unlock, all we need is colony points, I think we're going to be moving away from that, so we can start stocking up a little bit on wheat. This is going to take care of the firewood. We need to hire somebody to do that, so let's do that. Then next up, we have the 2 sanctifiers. I think I only have 1 hired, though, so let's... Actually, we have 2. Well, that explains then. Then here we have the cooks. Now, of course, the cooks are replaced by the copper anvil guys because I took that away. The tinkerer's table, I've removed 1 because I don't think that we're going to be needing that many of them. And you can stand here for now. I think, though, I'm going to stick with just 1 because I think we have enough copper tools. Where we're looking, yeah, we've got enough copper tools and everything else, so we only need the 1 person right about there. So that should stabilize our food as soon as we're going to be unlocking bread, and we should be getting plenty of firewood to go along with it. And now it is also finally time here to fix up what used to be our berry bush farms, because we're going to be utilizing this space, and we're going to do that in quite a nice way. Now, it is early morning, which is exactly the time that we want to be doing this. And that's for the simple reason we do not want to have any monsters around when we do any work on the outside line, because we're going to be removing a part of the moat again. Now, let's push you to the stockpile. So we've got 148 cobblestone still pending to come in, and then we've got 800 planks. So that should all balance it out nicely. Now, I want to fix up this because this is just not doing the trick, at least not the way I would like. So let's get ourselves the rubble out of the way. Let's get some of this. There. So that's going to nicely balance you out. And then what I want to do... Well, let me start with... And the next thing we're going to be fixing finally the footpath here. So that's going to be all nice and sorted and equal, literally all around our inner part of the colony. Alright, so now with that done, we should slowly start to increase on our wheat again. Now, we need to keep an eye on our meals because we only have 70 left. But the next thing that we want to do is we want to have a look that we get as much of this covered by wheat farmers as we can. So this is going to be too large. You can go right up until about here. So that's going to be farmer number 1. Then here we can go in this direction, and let's get ourselves another 100. 96. That will do. Now this is going to be a smaller farm. That looks good. So then we've got a little bit more farming going on that side. Now we have some space where we can make this look a little bit nicer. If we do it like that, it just looks a little bit more natural flowing. Yeah, and that's going to be my next overnight job, and that is going to be to remove the flax farmer. Remove this area. This is worker type flax area, so I'm going to be removing the flax farmer, and that would then mean that I need to pick up all of this by hand, because of course I do. right, and now I'm going to be putting you down there. Let's see, does that look like a more natural flow again? I think it does. I think it looks good. So this is going to be another nice natural flow. Now we want another wheat farmer, and I need to find exactly the corner of all of this. So I think that is this. Then let's see how far we can bring it down. So until here is going to be exactly 100. All right, and then with you covering that side, I can have a look again, and it's sometimes really tough to see. So this covers the existing area, which is great. So then I need to follow this line up and find where this one is crossing, which is going to be right about there. Now, can I cover really? So how about we try it in the other direction then? From here until here is 99. And then from there. The same thing is just too large. Let's start from the bottom end going up and make them as big as we can make them. So I need to cover until here. And that's going to be until there. And we pick you up from this block again, which is going to be until there. Then you are going to be the problem, but that is fine. Because if I now pick you up from here, then we're going to take you all the way until that corner. So all of these are now in line. If I then pick you up from there, you should go all the way to the upper corner without any problems. There we go. Look at that. So those are all now wheat farmers. Now I'm going to need to hire a couple of people to get all of this done. This is not pretty. But I need to see until where it is. Until right about there. So then let's cheat it a little. Remove you. Let's try this again. And now let's utilize the cheaty block. Covers existing area. Do we now have everything covered? Now we have everything covered, and I am going to be removing these blocks again. Because obviously that's just going to be the walkway. But this way we now have everything covered, and a quarter of our original mountain is now wheat farm. Now, if that's not going to be buffing our wheat, then I don't know what will. Talking about buffing our wheat, what do we have in store at the moment? 147. We only have 56 meals left, so it really is time now that we're going to go in here. We need to get ourselves some colony points, and we need to unlock bread. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to be selling... Well, I could sell one more, then I'm going to be wasting 5 points. Okay, well, in that case, I'm still wasting 1. So let's go in here into science and let's complete bread. There we go. So now we're going to need pots. We don't have any pots of flour in store, but we do have wheat. And now the highest priority is going to be for our job block crafter guys to make ourselves grindstones so we can get flour. So he's making the grindstone. How long does that take? 30 seconds. We've got 23 meals left. It is going to be cutting it very, very, very close. Okay, I'm going to be stopping my scribe for now. I'm going to stop the trap fixer, and I'm going to stop the engineer. Those are going to be my wheat farmers. Then I'm going to reduce stone masons to only 1. And the reason for that is because we only have 19 meals left. I need to get one of these fire pits down, because we need to get working on a little bit of wheat gruel. Do I like it? No. But it is what is needed. There is the grindstone. And I can get one of the sanctifiers off there. You go here and you do the grinding. Very good. Now that takes 12.5 seconds. And now one of those ones should be starting to making bread. Now, they can't make any berry meal bread because they don't have any bread, but somebody should start to pick up the flour that he just made. There we go. He's making the bread. So this is now slowly starting to kick off, which is great. Do we have the other grindstone ready already? We do. Let's get a second grindstone going for the same thing. And I think I'm just going to go and take one of the cooks. And he can go over to the grindstone and help with grinding the flour. Look at that. So slowly but surely, we're getting things in place. Now, you guys need to focus on something else. You're on one, and you are on one. So all of you are now going to be focusing on making empty pots, which is how we need it. Here we've got the first berry meal breads being made. What are they called? Bread meals. Fair enough. So that takes a bread and it takes a berry meal. So it is one bread, one berry meal, and it gives us 3 bread meals. 2 becomes 3. And that's, if I take 2 things, I put them together and I get 3 items, that makes sense inside my head, and that should increase our total meals. Now, this guy here is currently working on the wheat gruel, or on the porridge it is called, yeah, on the wheat porridge, which I now want to remove again, thank you, because I have no more interest in that, because we now get our bread in, which is going to help out with that. So I'm not going to be putting an additional cook back in. And slowly but surely, we're getting this up and running, back up to 28 meals. Now, it is 6 p.m., so it's going to be a little bit risky for today. How are we looking firewood-wise? 500. Look at that. So firewood problem has been solved. The pots have been solved now. The Fletchers don't have anything to do. Next step that we need is, well, we need more wheat, which is now incoming, because we got a whole lot more in wheat farmers. And on the way to the wheat farmers to check that out, let's put all of this into the stockpile so we have more planks again. Look at that. Just like that, we've got an entire a hillside full of wheat. Well, nearly full of wheat. This guy didn't completely finish, but, well, he'll get there slowly. Now, the next thing I want is I just quickly want to mark out what is going to be our new corner, which is going to be this block. There. So that is where I'm going to need my fence. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to need to even out quite a few things here in order to make that work. So this is the level I would want it at. Now, I'm going to be removing those 2. And just like that, I get punched in the face. He's a little bit upset with me. I don't know why. It took us a night and a little bit of the morning, but now we've got a little bit added again to our mountain. So I've now used the fences rather than having a moat around. And slowly but surely, we are expanding our territory this way. Now, I did nicely level it out because I think it looks better, although try to maintain a little bit more of the natural flow of the mountain, maybe. Let's give that a shot for here. Maybe that's a little bit more of a natural flow of the mountain, so we could go for that. Now, I still have a little bit of time to fix up the rest of the fencing here. I mean, it is 5 p.m. It's becoming a little bit more risky business, and I'm nowhere close to where I would have wanted to be for the day, but, well, that is what it is. So we are up to 55 meals, and all we did was add in the grinders and up our wheat production. How are we looking wheat-wise? 79. We've got 28 bread, so we're good there. 30. We don't have any bread meals. They're all sacred bread meals. But the problem at the moment is the berry meals, so we're going to need a little bit more when it comes to berry farming. And by the looks of it, we're going to be having quite a bit of a wheat harvest today, so that definitely should be bumping up our bread production. Now, because we need more berry farms, I was thinking about turning some of this side here into a few more berry farms, and then only a little bit of it back into a flax farm. Because if we're looking at our inventory, we're looking at 1,316 flax. I don't know what we're going to be needing it for, so maybe later on we want to increase our flax production, but for right now, I think we're good. So there's going to be 2 additional berry farmers and a flax farmer, which I think we're going to be good. Now, the other thing is, and I've been looking at it, our slinger guards are not doing a whole lot. And that's because their range is shorter than the ones from these guys. And because their range is shorter, look. So either we're going to need to find a way that they walk by closer and it is more accessible to the slinger guards before the archers can take a hit at them, or I'm just going to fire some of them and, well, we'll deal with it as it comes. Now, I think I'm going to go and I take a middle way for that. There's always a compromise available. So how about instead of that, I'm going to be putting in a little bit of a fence wall, and I'm going to be forcing them to walk along. So any of the monsters now that would want to come in, they would need to walk past here. There. So from this side, it is only accessible from here, and that is where those guys have a shot at them before the arrow guards have. Then on the other side, we're going to be doing the exact same thing. So now anybody that wants to enter needs to come through here where those guys have free aim at them before these guys have. Then they go up here. This is where the first archers get a hold of them. And then once they get here, that's just when they get obliterated. And that's when they get obliterated, and I'm absolutely fine with that. So that's going to solve that. Now, meals. We are at 67. Wheat should be flying up. It is the beginning of the day. I'm going to go and gamble, and I'm going to say recruit to fill all the jobs. Boom. There we go. Now, that should be increasing our berry meal production, which increases in the return our bread meal production, which increases the sacred bread meals. And I think for that, we are going to be then just fine. All right, science-wise, chicken meals is next what we have on the menu, but for that we need more tablets of ancient wisdom, which currently we do not have because I fired the scribe. And the trap fixer and the engineer. So we need an additional 3 people. Can we afford that? To gamble, but we like to gamble. Down to 10 meals, that is not looking good. But everybody is going to be working on food, so we shall be fine. Now I'm getting curious. See, this is the good thing that sometimes we can see stuff like this. So, how about I'm temporarily removing you and you. Then let's get construction. I want to remove all from you. I'm going to go out of here, until there. Oh, I have no more spare beds. Which is fair enough, because that's the bed I probably just pulled out. Can I reach that from here? I can too. There we go. So now now I can recruit someone. There we go. Now, I have no idea what is waiting for me when that gets dug out. I hope I didn't put anything on that side, which I think I didn't. But then again, I don't remember everything that I did here. Maybe we're going to be digging out the watering hole, although I don't think so. But that would make for a nice additional bedroom. Look, and the speed he does the digging with, I can't do that. All right, how are we looking here? You guys are upset because we have no more animal carcasses. So let's buy... There we go, 40 of those. So you're going to be good. You're also going to help out with the food, because now I can go up here. So these guys have as priority fish and bread meals. Now, the cooked meat is set to 0. How much meat do we have in stock? 32. So let's cook the meat. I mean, I don't think we're going to be using it for anything else. That can go to 0 because, well, we don't have any. How are we looking food-wise now? So we've got 3 bread meals, we've got 15 bread, no pots of flour, but wheat coming in thick and fast, which is great. Those guys are cooking the meat now, and the bread meals and the bread, and look at that, our food is flying up, which is great. Now, let's get in an additional grindstone, which I think is going to be good. You guys are working on the fences, which is good. And I'm just quickly going to drop down here to make sure that, well, we didn't create any bigger issues. Did I tell him to dig that out? Probably I did. Yeah, of course, because that's where the rest of the bedroom is, so we're good. Now, and the next thing that we were going to want to unlock was the advanced construction, for which we need 1,000 points. That's going to give us a specific digger and a replace builder. However, I'm very much tempted to start focusing on mainly this, which means I only need 250 points and everything else we already have. So I can put all of that nicely away. Let's just get ourselves the points that we need. So let's sell 5 of you. That gives us the 250 points. Now, before I'm going to do that, because it is 7 p.m., I do not want to do that whilst we're going into the night. We can do that once the night is over, because we need to make sure that we are going to be safe up here. There we go. That's another stack of dropper traps just about ready. Now, at least I hear now the slinger guards are doing something, which is good because that's eventually what we wanted, because their ammo is cheaper and their damage per second is lower. Now, those guys are all nicely wandering around, which is good. All of these guys are wandering around, so all of them are going to the entrance here. Now, these guys, though, are not doing a whole lot. So maybe I need to relocate some of these. There, so I still have an additional spare person. And now I think we're going to be doing more with the slinger guard. Look at that. Yeah, so now at least there's a little bit more attack power from the slinger guards before the archers need to get involved. Now, with that, I am now confident enough to trigger the next part, which is going to increase our monster threat by quite a bit. Now, to show you how much it increases, currently we're looking at 8,500 hit points in monsters in a night. We will be doing 8,700 damage if we trigger the failsafe, which is going to be good. And we now get more sacred meals as well. And each sacred meal is going to be adding to the points, which is great. Now, slowly we're starting to add up on the berry meals in the bread. And we've got a few berries. We've got some pots of flowers. So slowly we're looking to be really good on that end. So, 8,561. Science. I'm going to be completing the Bronze Age. 8,561 went to 19,000. That is how much 50 threat level does. 10,000. At this stage, that is what it does. Now, I can do that because I think all the monsters already spawned, and I'm not expected to get additional spawn, even if I think with the current firepower that we have, we should be more than fine. Now, the Bronze Age did open up quite a few additional things, such as obviously bronze ingots, zinc, and tin. Now, we're going to need tin, and then we can also unlock the outpost, for which we're going to need bronze tools, colony points, which is going to be doable, tablets. We've got the scribe working. We can increase that, so we should be fine at that end as well. However, but the bronze tools is going to be the first thing that we're going to need, and for that we're going to need, well, bronze. And for that, we need tin. And at the moment, we either need to go and find a different biome, which we will do, but not now, or we need to buy it. So I'm going to go right in here. I have 3 that I can sell. Let's sell that. And the tin is 35 each. Now, I can only buy 2. But what we can do is sell quite a bit of this. There we go. And now we can buy a few more. There. So that's only going to be 16. Eventually, we do want to have a look that we get more. There we go. So that is all of them. Got 25 points left. Good. So 5 o'clock in the morning, they should be making the first brass quite quickly. Once we have that done, that is when we can further develop. But that was the aim for today, and well, it took us a little bit of time and, well, walking a very thin, dingly-dangly line of having food or no food. So instead of the question deal or no deal, the question here was food or no food. And in this case, now it is food, and we even have an unemployed person to get along with that. But I think we're going to be good when it comes to security, at least for the upcoming night or two. We do need more beds. We need more colonists. We are working on that by digging out the factory floor and expanding the bedroom there. Then in the next episode, we're going to need to have a look that we get, well, whatever we unlocked here, we need to see what are the first things that we want to do. And I think we're going to start getting towards the chicken meals, which just needs quite a few tablets of ancient wisdom. We want outposts done, which also needs tablets and more colony points. And besides that, I think it is time for the astrolabe, which we already have nearly everything for, because that's going to allow us to find different biomes. Now, different biomes are great, but without the outposts, it is quite pointless. So we're going to need outposts in Astrolabe, and once we've got that, it is time for an adventure. Okay, guys, but that's going to be it for this one. Thank you for joining, and I will see you guys in the next one.